The State of the Union is always a good time, right? You get to see politicians that you haven't seen for a very long time, like Nancy Pelosi. You have to be honest with me, how excited were you to see Nancy Pelosi? I know she was probably a little bit sad that she couldn't sit behind Donald Trump and rip up his speech, but she was still there, and other politicians were there as well. But some politicians decided that they weren't going to even show up, because this year's State of the Union was a little bit different than other State of the Unions. As some Democrats decided to get on their high horse and claim, well, we're not going to the State of the Union. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of their duty as representatives and also senators to go to the State of the Union, but if the less bickering that we get from the Democratic side, I think the better. Instead, however, these Democrats that decided to skip had their own State of the Union called the People's State of the Union. So these conservatives get their own Super Bowl halftime show, and these Democrats get their own State of the Union. I think that's a fair trade, don't you? However, the night didn't go off to a very good start for the People's State of the Union.
Border! I stuck in the border. Go Trump! Go Trump! Hey, Murphy, you're a scumbag.
Thanks, man. Thanks, buddy.
Don't worry, no one was hurt in this situation, and also don't worry because we are going to come back and check up on these Democrats as this episode goes on, so make sure you stay tuned. Now it's time for the reason that you clicked this video, and that is for Donald Trump's actual State of the Union address. But before Donald Trump even opened up his mouth, he walked into the chamber to cheers, to jeers, to all that sort of stuff. But as Donald Trump was walking down, there was someone holding up a sign. It was Representative Al Green. Now, you might have remembered Al Green for when the last time Donald Trump made a joint session of Congress, he started yelling at the president, and Mike Johnson decided to kick him out. But this time, Al Green brought a prop, and it's a sign that says, "Black people aren't apes." But in all honesty, who called them apes? Now, of course, this sign was referenced to the 1-second clip in an election fraud clip that Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, which depicted the Obamas as apes for literally only 1 second. And my thing is that Al Green could have put anything on that sign. He could have said, "Release the Epstein files. Donald Trump is a murderer. Remember the 2 people from Minnesota." Stuff like that, but he put this sort of weird thing on there from a story that is dead already. So he was kicked out quite quickly. It's funny because you can see in the video staffers running towards him and getting him out of there. And Trump was able to deliver his speech without little interruption after that. And now this part of the State of the Union is what I like to call the fun part of the State of the Union. It's all of the achievements and claiming that our country is great and that our country is doing awesome and we have so much winning. It was really cool because Donald Trump brought back the line, "We are winning so much, we are so sick and tired of winning," and then he brings on the USA hockey team.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
I like J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson's little look there, but after that was when the United States hockey team came out and there were cheers for them and they were hanging on to their gold medals. One of the goalies got a medal from Donald Trump and different things like that, and it was a really cool moment to show American pride. And then Donald Trump starts going after Democrats for the first time, which there are many times during the speech that he did. But first, we need to check on the Democrats' State of the People's Union.
And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
How on earth did they get frogs and Donald Trump didn't get anything behind him? All he got were two old men. Kinda dumb. Anyway, Donald Trump decides to attack Democrats for not passing tax cuts, along with the big beautiful bill in general.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very necessary massive tax cuts. They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
This was the first strike on Democrats by Donald Trump, and the Democrats just kind of took it. They just sat there, stone-faced, didn't really say anything, didn't really do anything, didn't clap. They just sit there, stone-faced. Trump goes on and talks about the recent tariffs and the recent Supreme Court ruling which blocked those tariffs, which he's going to go around by using another law. And then Donald Trump gets to illegal immigration and attacks the Democrats again.
Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly used the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem.
Now you can start seeing the Democratic side of the chamber get a little bit antsy. They are getting more excited, getting more agitated with Donald Trump. And I mean, that makes sense. I would hate for someone to blame me for all of the country's problems. But then Trump just hits him once again when he talks about the Affordable Care Act. And this right here is where Democrats start to get really, really agitated.
I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, big insurance companies have gotten rich. It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people.
However, Donald Trump wants to make sure that everyone can agree with him on at least one thing. So after sitting on their hands for 45 minutes, Trump finally says something that the left actually likes, and he was able to get a shot in on Nancy Pelosi.
As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it.
I mean, what a great smackdown that was. And then Trump moved on to talking about the fraud in Minnesota, and this section right here was where I was sitting on the edge of my seat. Because you can hear in this clip that someone is yelling at him. And at the end, it is revealed to be none other than Ilhan Omar.
But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President J.D. Vance.
I'm honestly shocked that Marco Rubio got that job and JD Vance didn't get it, but good for JD. Trump doesn't back down, though, as he goes back to talking about the Somali fraud, calling the Somalians in Minnesota pirates, which is amazing. And when the camera goes back on Ilhan Omar, it looks like she's going to cry.
The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games.
But folks, please stay tuned because it's only going to get more intense. Before we get to that, though, we should check on the Democrats with the People's State of the Union. Let's see how they're doing.
No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. No pueden encarcelarnos a todas. Imprison us all day. Woo! Okay.
Man, there is nothing like a Democrat singing a song that just warms my heart. Anyway, we are in the home stretch, and I think that this is a whole lot better than listening to the full, 1 hour and 45 minutes of Donald Trump speaking. This part of the speech right here is what's going to go down in history. As Donald Trump was talking about how Democrats have blocked funding to DHS and how all of that can cause a lot of problems and issues in this country. And Trump takes a hammer and absolutely goes after the Democrats. Take a look at this.
One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
This was the biggest applause of the night. I know I had to cut some of it out, but it was a very long applause. And it was also the defining moment of this speech. I mean, how dumb can the Democrats be? It's honestly a no-brainer. Everyone in that chamber should have been standing when Donald Trump asked if the United States government should protect American citizens or illegal immigrants. And Trump let them have it by gesturing to them, saying, hey, why aren't you standing for this? What's going on here? And once the applause died down, Donald Trump went after them hard once again.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
And now this right here is where Rashida Tlaib and also Ilhan Omar started yelling at Trump and acting like absolute lunatics. Now, I'm not a gambling man, but I think that that moment right there, that situation that Donald Trump set up, is going to be a political campaign ad for a very long time. Democrats care about illegal immigrants while Republicans care about you. It's going to be plastered everywhere. The Democrats shot themselves in the foot, and Donald Trump got them to admit that they care more about illegal immigrants than American citizens. But the Democrats want to stay with their agenda, the agenda that claims that no one is illegal on stolen land. And of course, open borders. Donald Trump then moves on to talk about the SAVE Act, which I hope to make a video about one day. I have a whole bunch of articles for that, so make sure to stick around and subscribe. And then he moves on to talk about children being taken away from their parents if the parents don't agree that that child is a transgender or won't accept them transitioning. And Donald Trump hits the Democrats once again, and it's pure mwah, French kiss amazing.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
Trump literally said that children shouldn't be ripped from their parents' arms, and the Democrats just sit there and not clap or do anything. These people don't have common sense, and they are failing on these 80-20 issues. Like the woman from Ukraine who was killed on a bus. He recognized her mother, and the Democrats didn't even clap. And Donald Trump once again told them, how are you not clapping for this? How do you not want safety in our country? And half of me believes that these Democrats have, well, Donald Trump said it, so I hate it syndrome. And the other half of me says, well, maybe these people just hate America and want to see America fail. I honestly hope it's not true, and I hope that the Democrats don't think that way. But it is looking truer every single day. They don't want us to be proud to be an American. They would rather us apologize for being Americans. And on the 250th anniversary of this great country, all that I'm hoping for is that people start loving America again. The Democrats in this State of the Union really showed who they truly are. They are angry, they are mean, and they want to attack Republicans and also get rid of Donald Trump. Hopefully by the time the 4th of July comes around, these people stop acting like crazy people, but I don't think it'll happen. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.